la 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 bum 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 bum. La 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 bum 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 bum. The Oilers are going on to the next round, baby. Let's slap the Flames out of the second round, baby. In 5 games. Yeah, baby. Whoo, I am fucking pumped about this one, man. I woke up and it felt like Christmas, baby. I'm like, hell yeah, I get to make an OGR about my team whooping the Flames' booty cheeks. How do you like that, Flames fans, huh? Woo! Oh my lord, the amount of Flames fans and the amount of people who are telling me, oh, the Flames are gonna get beat by the Oilers and everything like that. Or the Flames were gonna beat the Oilers, I meant. But now it's the other way around, baby. The Oilers beat the Flames in 5 games. And what a glorious victory for this team, man. What a game. It was entertaining, tons of goals. A disallowed goal on the Flames, which was very controversial. We'll be definitely getting into that in today's episode as well. We got a lot to talk about. We really do. We got a lot to divulge into, lots to really kind of dissect in this game. Now, of course, I don't really remember this. I was live with my buddy Josh. If you guys didn't check out the stream, I would definitely check out the streams because that was an absolute party. And just imagining what the conference finals will be, it is also going to be more of a party once again. So make sure to tune into the conference finals because this team is something special right now, man. It really is. We got something going with this team here in Edmonton, and it is really starting to pick up its pace and starting to really look like it's going to be a fun team to watch. And I'm certainly pumped up to see what's going to happen in the next round, whether we face the Colorado Avalanche or the St. Louis Blues moving on to the next round. So before we get into this one, guys, I'd like to just say if you are new to the channel, make sure to smash that subscribe button and hit that like button as well. That'll be very much appreciated here, boys. Alrighty, so let's get into this one here. As the Flames, they started out quite well in the first period of action. I thought the Flames played, the best game in that first period. After that, they just didn't really do a whole lot. The second period, I felt like the Oilers made it into chaos. And what I mean by chaos is Oilers play great in chaos. When there's no defense and it's just pure run and gun type of style of hockey, the Oilers play their best. And we definitely did play our best in the second period. And we even played really good in the third period against the Flames where they almost capped it because, Coleman had that little kick in motion, which we're going to be getting into that, turned over goal a little bit later on and what's my thoughts on it. And really the rule. I want to kind of go over the rule as well because I think the whole kicking, the kicking rule is a very broken rule. It needs to be described a little bit better, especially for the refs, because we've seen these types of goals go in before and count before. But now this one didn't, so we're going to be getting into the reason whys and all that sort of stuff and what I believe should be kind of a kicking, if it should be a goal or not. Of course, the puck was already going to go in the back of the net even before Coleman, so in my head, it should have been a goal, but with the kicking, we'll get into into much later on near the third period of action when we do talk about that. So the very first goal was scored by Andrew Mangiapane, and I was like, oh lordy, this is really not going to be a good game for the Oilers. We're not off to a hot start. We're not playing too great. Mangiapane got a big one, and he was left wide open. And I mean, Duncan Keith missed a assignment hardcore because he left Mangiapane wide open, and Mangiapane buried it right into the back of the net for the Flames. And then into the second period. Well, the second period was just, I gotta say, a gong show. And the Oilers really started picking up their pace. They really started to push the Flames a little bit more, really started to bring it. And I love that. You got to bring your best A game into that next period. And the Oilers certainly did. Mikael Backlund got his 5th goal of the playoffs. And that was a kind of a tip in there. Stone took the shot. Backlund tipped it right into the back of the net for the Flames. And the Flames went up 2-0, which I was like, oh no, this is not what ideal, but this was kind of what I was expecting. I was expecting the Flames to really push hard in this game and really to kind of push a comeback. We knew that was going to be the case. They're not going to just sit down and just go home, right? They're not going to do that. But then the Edmonton Oilers started stampeding back into this game, baby, with Darnell Nurse getting his 2nd goal of the year, of the playoffs, burying right in the back of the net by a beautiful setup pass by Draisaitl to bury his second goal in the net. Jesus, I'm messing up my English. I'm really hyped, as you can see. Nurse got his second goal of the playoffs, and then right after that, the Bison King, Jesse Pugliarvi, baby, gets his second goal of the playoffs, and he buries it right in the back of the net for the Edmonton Oilers, and that is now a tie game, baby, a tie game. And this was a beautiful play by Pugliarvi too, just driving right to the net. Hyman took a shot to get a rebound, and Pugliarvi buried it right in the back of the net after that big juicy rebound. And then Hyman gets another goal in this series once again, and Hyman has had a goal in every single game this series against the Flames. 2 in game 1 and then 1 in every single game. That is just absolutely crazy. And Hyman had a 3-point night. Hyman has just been a great pickup and a great playoff performer for the Edmonton Oilers. He has been fantastic, 12 points in 12 games, and not just that, 8 goals in 12 games this far in the playoffs. He has just been absolutely electric and absolutely amazing for the Edmonton Oilers, as he was able to tuck this right into the back of the net by a nice little setup pass by Nuge, and then he just tucked it right in the back of the net and got a big goal for the Edmonton Oilers to give us that lead. But then the Flames started getting right back into the game as Johnny Gaudreau got his third goal of the season, not even like a few seconds after Hyman's goal. He got his third goal of the playoffs by a nice kind of like spin around shot, and he kind of buried it right into the back and then right through the 5-hole of Smith. This one, Smith should have had, he should have shut his 5-hole down a little bit more, but Smith really was not looking good on a lot of these goals. He really wasn't. Like, we definitely didn't play very well defensively either, but Smith definitely needed to play a little bit more tighter, and I hope he, tightens up his game. This was probably one of the worst games from Smith. Overall, he didn't have a terrible series, but it wasn't amazing from Mike Smith. So it's going to be pretty scary if we go up against the Avs, because if Smith is not on his A game, the Avs are going to absolutely rip us apart. And then Yarncrook got his first goal, I think, as a Flamer as well this year, as it was kind of like a nice flick up by Zadorov, and Yarncrook just blasted right past Smith to give them the lead once again. But then we got a little bit of a Booch bomb, baby, as Booch bomb, he bombed right into the back of the net to get his third goal of the playoffs. Beautiful setup pass by Draisaitl, beautiful pass by Keith to get it over to Draisaitl, and then set it up right to the point to Bouchard to just bomb it right past Markstrom to tie up the game. And then we get into the third period where we get to the controversial goal people are saying. So Blake Coleman, Backlund took a shot. It squeaked through Mike Smith. Now, this puck was already basically going to go into the back of the net. Coleman dashed to the net, and when he he reached out his leg, kind of making a kind of a kicking distinction towards it. Now, in the rule really doesn't describe the rule very well. It's like if your foot has like a distinct kicking motion, basically is the entire rule. Really doesn't specify very much into the rule. It's very unclear, and even when they gave it like an explanation of why they overturned a goal, they just basically put the rule into the explanation. So it's kind of a confusing one, because in my opinion, watching the goal, seeing Coleman kind of flick out his leg, it's definitely kick in motion. Now, you've seen other plays, like people were talking about the Chandler Stevenson goal. There was one that Nate Thompson scored against the Calgary Flames way back. There's goals that have happened where, these people have kicked it towards the net and it's still been a goal. So I understand why people are getting up and at them about this overturned goal. I do get it. It should have counted. But at the exact same time, in the rule, that's a kicking motion. It should not be a goal. Now, for the other, kind of examples that you see that are kicking emotions that are goals, it's just because the rule's so goddamn unclear. So 50% of the time, it's going to be a goal, and then the other 50% of the time, it's not going to be a goal. It just depends on the ref and depends on who's reviewing the goal. So I think that's and that's a lot of the rules in the NHL, sadly. I believe it should not be a goal just because of the rule. It is a kick in motion. It looked like a kick in motion, and it should not be a goal, in my humble opinion. Now, you could take my humble opinion with a grain of salt since I'm an Oilers fan, but I do think it's a no goal. But with the other, examples, it should have been a goal because of the other examples that we've seen so far. I think the NHL should do a little bit of a better job of explaining the rules instead of having a 2-year-old fucking write these rules. But besides that, we've seen this happen before with us Oilers fans. We've, seen it with Ryan Kessler, grab Cam Talbot's pad. So it's understandable. This type of stuff happens. The refs make stupid calls, and that's just the way that she goes sometimes. But for the Flames to really, be super pissed off about it, yeah, be pissed off about it. But your team played like ass. I don't think there was even a way that you guys, even if you guys won this game, I don't think there was really a way that you guys were going to win this series, to be quite honest with you guys, with the way that this team was continuing to play bad defense, and how Jacob Markstrom was just an absolute bombshell in the back of the net. And then we'll get on to the Connor McDavid goal, but I think the best way to explain this Connor McDavid goal is if I just show you guys a little bit of my commentary. Keith has a handle of it. This one sent up as this one tipped into the zone by Hyman, picked up by Markstrom behind the net, shovels it off to Hanifin, bounces it out as the Oilers go for a little bit of a defensive line change. This one backed up Nurse. Goudreau fucking cherry picking like a pussy. Picked up by Hanifin. Draisaitl has a handle of it over to McDavid. McDavid, nice. Yeah! Josh! No way! Josh! Dude! Josh! Josh,
We're going round 3!
Yo! Yeah!
Let's go! Oh my god! Holy shit! Holy shit!
I got a White Claw. Let's go, boys! Woo!
For the first time since 2006, the Edmonton Oilers will go to the conference finals.
Now, as you guys can see, I turned into a fucking monkey during that celebration, as I was extremely hyped to see Mr. Connor McDavid score that type of goal, and it was absolutely gorgeous, as Josh was a little bit delayed in that one as well, but I was hyped, and it was just an amazing goal to see us score in that type of fashion, and it was absolutely electric, to say the least. So let's get into lineups. Let's get into talking about who did good, who did bad. Of course, we got kind of a new lineup between the Hyman, McDavid, Draisaitl line, which I absolutely enjoyed. The Kane, McDavid, Draisaitl line, Kane really did not have a good night tonight. He struggled massively. Maybe it was because he had a new kid. He was probably tired, staying up all night. Probably was the case, but he really did not look good for the Edmonton Oilers last night. He was not doing the stuff that we need him to do, but we had other players step up big time, and that's okay, because Hyman was a real big MVP in this game alongside of McDavid and Draisaitl. They had an absolute amazing night. Now, they definitely didn't play too amazing defensively, but hey, they didn't allow any goals again, so I do give them that. And they had a really good night, generating a lot of offensive opportunities, and they scored 3 goals on that line as well, which was absolutely amazing. Nuge, Kane, Yamamoto, they didn't have a great night overall. They didn't generate a whole lot of offense. They did pretty good defensively. They did have 1 goal against them, but overall they didn't have a terrible night. Fogle, McLeod, Puljujarvi. I literally loved Puljujarvi throughout the night. I thought he was really, really good alongside of whether it was Nuge and Hyman or McLeod and Fogle. He got a few good offensive opportunities and played really well defensively for the team. And we really didn't get to see very much of Kassian, Ryan, and Archibald, which thank God. We only got to see Kassian for 2 minutes, and that was the same with Archibald, who only got 4. So thank goodness we didn't get to see those guys a whole lot, because they're just not that great of players. Keith and Bouchard had an alright night. They played pretty bad defensively up until, I gotta say, like the last third period. They played pretty well defensively. But yeah, the first period, Keith missed his assignment on Mangiapane, and I think that was really it. They did pretty good. They were mostly in the offensive zone with McDavid in them, so nothing really to complain about with that pairing. Nurse and Ceci, they were really good offensively, and they were pretty good defensively as well. They were one of our best defensive pairings throughout the entire night, and that was the same with Kulak and Barry. I thought they played very well defensively, but for like the one stick lift, Kulak, when Backlund scored, Kulak didn't, do a good job of lifting Backlund's stick, who then, tipped it right into the back of the net. But they also had a really good night for the Edmonton Oilers, as well as now we got the conference finals coming up, and also Mike Smith, to note, was not very good throughout the night. He was probably one of our worst goalies, but the Oilers, we're moving on to the conference finals, baby. I'm hoping you guys are just as pumped up as I am, because I am ready to watch some conference finals action, and I am, I'm ready. I'm ready to see whoever we're going to face up against. We're going for that cup, baby. Let's get her, boys, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Adios. amigos.